Okay, I think we're live. Terry, you want to introduce us while I fix this?
Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Wealthy Woman Playbook. I've almost said podcast. Playbook. I'm your host, Tara L, and this is my co-host.
Jessica Cardinal. Hello, hello.
And we are back with another Tuesday tips from the top. And so today, you guys, we're going to talk about how stability creates credibility. I think that this is such an important topic to speak about, especially when you're building a brand online, because when you first get started, nobody knows who you are. So you're working really, really hard to build up your credibility, build up your name, show people that you mean what you say and you say what you mean. There's so many people out there that are business coaches or selling something and why you stand out from everybody else. Now, don't get me wrong, there is enough for everybody to go around, but we also need to be sharing why we are the one, right? Opposed to everybody else that's out there. So you work so hard on building your name and building your credibility and all of those things. And then what will start to happen is people start to get shiny ball syndrome. Now, I want to preface this by saying there's a difference between putting in your blood, sweat, and tears for a very, very long period of time and something just not working, right? So you don't change the goal, you just change the vehicle. And I can understand that aspect of you really like giving it your all, trying super hard, and it's just not working, right? And I don't mean like you tried for a couple days and for a week and then you stopped and you can no, I mean like for a very good long period of time, you tried something and it just wasn't working. So you wanted to try something else. I can understand that. But what I'm talking about is people who will try something for a very short period of time. They don't give it their all. If it is, not the simplest or the easiest for them, right? They're finding like some, what's the word I'm looking for? Like pushback, like it's kind of hard, right? Which nothing worth having is going to come easy for you. What they do is they see a post that somebody else makes about how they're making money and it seems like it's so much easier to make this money. And so what they do is they go and they are like, you know what, I'm going to try that. And then they go and they leave and they go and try this new thing. And then they're there for a little bit and maybe they do make some money, right? But then somebody else comes around and somebody else posts about something and then they jump ship and then they go over there and they continue to keep doing this over and over again and they don't understand why they will never build a community that truly trusts them, or they never make a substantial amount of money because they're doing things that are not going to attract long-term results, right? And so somebody who is a company hopper that every time they leave to go to the next company, they're when they announce that they're going there or that they've changed, they'll say things like, this company is the best because X, Y, and Z and blah, blah, blah. But then they go to the next company, they say this company is the best because, and it's just like, it's an ongoing thing. And it just starts to get like, I even look at them and I'm like, let's see how long they're going to be there for because they've just been with four different companies in the past 7 months.
Yeah, it's insane. And I always think about it in the way of like the analogy of it being like the lottery. Like people put their eggs in so many baskets or they jump to the next thing thinking that that's going to be the lottery, that all of a sudden that's going to be the thing that gets them rich quick. And that mentality is why people company hop for years and years and years and make no money or make very little money. And they don't have a credible brand that's stable. So I always tell people, like, I don't care how much money you make, if you can't recreate that income month after month after month, like that is not a flex to me. Like if you jump into a company and all of a sudden bring all of this hype with you and you make 100 grand in a month, and then all of a sudden your income goes back down to 5,000, maybe even $10,000 per month, like that's not a flex to me. Like quick
Yeah.
income is not. Like stability and growth over time is what is the real flex. Now, of course, you're always going to have, little dips and up, but if the
Yeah.
trajectory is upward, that's really what I'm looking for, is that stability. And so it always comes back to the saying where they're like, the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. But here's where everyone is getting it wrong. the average millionaire doesn't have 7 income streams at once that they build at the same time, and then all of a sudden those 7 make them a millionaire. What they do is they get into a business, whatever it's going to be for them, and they create stability in that business. They create revenue, they become profitable, they get really good at what they're doing. So in our instance, it would be like marketing, branding, sales. They get really, 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 really good at that to where they could do it in their sleep. Then they add in another income stream and they get really good at that while this one is still producing revenue. Then they add another one. Maybe they get some investment properties and these 2 are still producing revenue and still growing. So it's not like put your eggs in 7 baskets and fucking pray that one of them pops. That's not how millionaires think. That's not how this works out here. So this is where people are getting it wrong. And, the online industries, they're like, well, I have this offer, and then I'm going to do this low ticket business. Then I'm going to get this ground floor opportunity. And then I'm also going to do MRR. And then I'm also going to sell this. And I'm also going to do that. And it's like, you don't even know what your brand is or your mission or what you're trying to do. So no one's going to buy anything from you. So now you're just talking about all these things that you have and none of them are producing. So I don't care if you have 7 eggs and 7 baskets. If those 7 eggs and those 7 baskets aren't producing any revenue or income, that means nothing.
Yeah, they don't, like she said, they don't go to the next thing until they can completely not give their time or energy or effort to that first stream of income. They can completely like just maybe check in on it maybe once a week or once a month and it's still generating income. Then they could put all their focus into the second stream. That is when you move from one thing to the next, because that one is like a well-oiled machine and it's just going to keep on going and going and going and going. They don't need to put their effort in. Maybe they can hire somebody to, keep an outlook on that while they go and they build the next thing. And like you said, people have that so messed up. So if you're spreading yourself thin and you're like, okay, well, I have 7 eggs in 7 different baskets and it's generating me $3,000 a month. It's like, no, like you could be putting all of those eggs in one basket and that one income can be generating you $50,000 a month. And then you can go on to the next thing and then the next thing and then the next thing. Now, again, like I said, I'm all for, trying different things to see like what works for you. Cause that's something that had happened to me. Like when I had prematurely left my first business that, I made hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year in, when I prematurely left that, I wasn't done with that business. So when I left, I was actively like trying to like fill the void of trying to find something that was as equally amazing as that. So when I left there, I stood at the next business for about, I think it was like 10 months. And then after I left there, I went to like 2 other companies. So like, it felt like in a year, I was with 1, 2, like three businesses, like in 1 year, it felt like, because like I said, I was actively trying to find something to do that, but I wasn't like company hopping, like, yeah, this, then this, then this, and going there from there. And I was miserable while I was doing it because that's not the type of person that I am. I don't want to like build and then stop and then go somewhere else and then build and then stop and then go somewhere else, because I know what that looks like. So I didn't want that to be like that type of light being shown on me. And so again, stability creates credibility. When you can be somewhere and you can ride the highs and ride the lows and stick it out through the good, the bad, the ugly, you're trying everything, you're doing different things, that's going to show people that they're in it to win it. So yeah, they're going to go and they're going to invest. And if you are in a business that, like, let's say is like a high ticket business and people need to invest, a high ticket amount, they're not going to invest that kind of money with you because they don't trust you or believe that you are going to be there long term, for them to invest that kind of money and for them to see it all the way through. They're not going to do that. So you need to maybe take a little look or some inventory on yourself and say, where am I not generating stability? Because that could be why I'm not generating the leads or the type of business that I desire, because I don't really have that credibility where people look at me and say, she or he is the person that's going to help me to get to where it is that I want to be, because they themselves don't even trust themselves or the decisions that they make to see it through.
Yeah. And a lot of people think, here's the thing about ground floor opportunities, because this is why a lot of people company hop, right?
God.
It's like these new businesses pop up. But you guys, the ground floor opportunities that come in, they leave just as fast as they started. It's like an absurd number of like ground floor opportunities that don't make it past the first year. I've heard it before, but it's like in the 80% to 90% of ground floor opportunities that don't make it past a year.
No.
And so you get in and you try to like create this stability in this brand for that thing to just go away as fast as it came anyway. And like Tara was saying, we have to think about like the bigger picture. Like if you're a person that is watching this and you're serious about making $50,000, $100,000 per month, we have to think about the bigger picture, not just the like instant gratification that we all want in business anyway. And so it's like, what do we need to do for the long term to get where we want to be? And usually the answer is we need mentorship. Like we need coaching, we need guidance, because usually we are the problem. We are our own demise in the beginning. And so it's so funny because it's like this catch 22 where people are like, or like, what do they say? Like, get rich quick schemes or scams and pyramid schemes. And everyone, you just want to get rich quick. But it's like, that's the mentality of company hoppers. They want to get rich quick, which is why they company hop, because they think if I get in early enough people will join under me eventually that I will be rich. And so they
Right.
have this like instant gratification to put all of their effort into a ground floor thing or the next best thing without realizing that I need to do the internal work. I need to actually build a brand. I need to actually learn how to build an audience. I need to actually learn how to network. I need to actually learn how to close sales. It's a lot easier to just hope you get into something fast enough to get rich quick from it than do the work that you need to do. And we were talking about this earlier before we hopped on here, how that is like the demise of so many people is how can you make it easier for me? I don't want to do the work. But
Yeah.
you're not going to get to $50,000 to $100,000 per month in income without doing the work. Like that part has to happen. And whether it happens in 6 months, it happens in a year, it happens in 2 years, it happens in 3 years, it's not going to be an instant gratification thing in this line of work. It will in any line of work. This is going to be the line of work that gets you there, but it's not going to be an instant gratification. And that get rich quick mentality of that need and that desire to make it happen so fast is why you're jumping from company to company, which is why you're losing your credibility, which is why no one wants to join you. Because if you're going to leave tomorrow, why would I invest my money with you? Like it's building a house of sticks,
Yeah.
cards.
And you're doing yourself a huge disservice because you're spending so much time like moving from each thing and learning about that business and then, implementing it and doing that to then turn around and do it all over again, right? And I think so many times what happens is that you see these leaders who maybe started out at a company and they built a big business there and a lot of people look up to them and they were inspired by them and, all of that stuff, right? So eventually they leave that company, they go to another company, and now they're promoting like, oh yeah, like what took me, 8 months to make in my previous company, I did that in my very first month. And people are like, oh my God. And so now they're thinking that it's the actual company when no, it's not. What happened is they announced that they were leaving, and there are people that just stick with them all came with them, plus everybody in the company that's inspired by them that always wish that they were on their team instead, they also come over and join with them. So now they've made all this money off of people joining them in the new business and then the customers that they accumulated and all of that stuff within the first month. It's not the opportunity, right? And so then they go and they do it again. And then they do it again and they do it again. And so now all that's happening is that all these little people continue to keep making this big leader all this money because they keep following them from opportunity to opportunity to opportunity. And the truth of the matter is this: I've been at the top of two companies and I've made really good money in another one. And now I do what I'm doing now, right? And so from me being and sitting at the table and like seeing all of these things and just being amongst people, I want to tell you this, that it is not normal or average in these low ticket companies that you have all of these people that are making 20,000 $50,000 a month on the team. There's not. You might have a handful of them. Now, in the very rare instance, like for example, on the first company that I was with, right? My previous team, one of the girls that, that were on my team, she does have a bunch of people on her team that are making six figures and are in the Millionaire Club. But that is not normal. That is not normal. That is like she's an anomaly compared to everybody else out there, right? So what happens is one of those leaders leaves, goes to another company, everybody joins her over there. And then, a couple of the other leaders, they have people that join them. So you see this one person and a couple other of them that are making, 10, 15, 20,000 within their first 3 months. But you will notice that all of the other 4,000 people that are on their team are not making $10,000 or above. They are not. And that's just pretty much how it goes. And that's why I'm a huge advocate for high ticket, because the average on our team is very high of the people that make $10,000 to $20,000 a month, or even $100,000 a month, $100,000 cumulative within their first 4 to 6 months. That is not normal, but because of the business structure, it's made possible for them. But in low ticket, it's not. So you have so many people that are constantly following the leader, hoping to hit that big break. But again, it's not the company. It's because that leader has built such a brand that people follow them from company to company to company. And people have this, like, these rose color glasses, and they think it's the company, and it's not. It's the people following that person to make them all that money in the first month.
And so here's like a pro tip for everyone who's watching this, like, don't choose your mentor based on their results. Choose your mentor based on the results that they have with their clients. That's what's going to show you who could actually create duplication. So Tara and I, like, not to like, toot our own horn or anything, but that is the power of like what we do in our high ticket business, is that we make the income that we do. Yes, but we've created so many five-figure, six-figure, multiple six-figure income earners. Like, that's the real flex. So like she's talking about, like, we have to take the rose-colored glasses off and really look at what we're looking at. If you're watching these quote unquote leaders jump from these companies and make all of this money, like, who else is making money? That's the question I would be asking. Like, what other results do you have? Who else on your team is making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 per month? How many six-figure income earners do you actually currently have? Like, those are the questions I would be asking, because again, it's really easy for someone to be in the network marketing industry for 7 to 10 years and have built this brand over time to get this quick influx every time they hop to a new company. But can you duplicate that with anyone else that you work with? That's really where the magic is made. So again, it's not about, okay, your results, that's cool, but what is the results within your own team? Not your company, like within your own team. I think that's the question that people need to be asking.
100%, because that's cool that you were able to do that, but how many other people have you been able to help them do that as well? Now, if they're also
Especially from zero, just
right,
saying.
from zero. Now, if they're shouting out other people that are going through all these ranks and making all this money, are they somebody else from that company, or maybe from another company that was a leader over there that came with them and brought their people? Like, these are the things that need to be looked at and need to be asked, which, I'm so grateful that, Jess and I have been able to take people who have either never worked online a day in their life before, or have been in the industry and really have never made 5, 10, 50. They've never made that kind of money before. And they've come over, and because of the things that we're teaching them and because of the business model that we're working for, they were able to, make $100,000 in their first 4 to 6 months, $250,000 in their first 12 months, things like that. We're very proud to say that we've been able to develop that many people from zero. Right? People aren't just coming over from their companies and bringing a mass amount of people with them. Right?
Honestly, I don't even think I've ever had that even happen. Like, I think everyone I've worked with, I've built from pretty much zero.
Yeah, nobody has ever.
You didn't, I brought, you worked with me, but you didn't bring people from your last company over. We
No.
started from zero.
I literally said to her, I said, I know that I'm going to build a big business, but I don't know who's going to join me.
Yeah.
I have no idea, because I wasn't working for a network marketing company at that time. I was only doing coaching. So I wasn't sure like what was going to happen, but I knew that I was going to build my business, and that, I was going to build a big business, but I wasn't bringing anybody, like all these people, like over with me or anything like that. So I think it's really important for you guys to understand that credibility is so important. And it's one of those things like momentum, like it's so hard to build, but it's very easy to lose. And our word is our bond. Like, our word is our everything. And we can only do that by showing people, through our actions. You know, we can say whatever it is that we want, but when somebody sees the things that you've done, your growth, your journey, sticking things out and sharing about maybe obstacles you've been through and you know now you're on the other side of it and how you dealt with it and things like that, that is going to continue to strengthen your credibility and let people know that you're the real deal, and that they, you know, they want to invest with you and they want to learn from you and they want to be in your world, right? Versus just continuing to bounce from thing to thing. Another thing that I cannot get behind or co-sign is you come into a community and you make friends inside of the community, right? And then you leave to go to a new business. Now you're friends with all these people from inside the community, and these people were brought in from other people that were working their business and training them and coaching them and all that. Now you've gone and found another business that, you know, you might feel is either better or whatever. And now you're posting about it and how it's the best thing since sliced bread. And you're friends with all these people from the community. And now you start bringing them into this new business. And what tends to happen is when you look at the people, either the person that left or the people that have left with them, it's like the circle of people that you notice will be in sometimes and then out for most of the time, or they might complain that, you know, about things versus finding solutions. And then they bring the people that are on that same frequency over with them because again, they're thinking that they could make money easier. Now, granted, everybody wants to work smarter and not harder, but there is no easy way out. You might make some quick cash flow wherever it is that you're going, but you will not build long-term stability there or an empire or build something that will pay you for life. It will not happen. And what happens is these people think that, and then they end up leaving and burning bridges or causing havoc, and they lose that, you know, relationship with their team. And it ends up being all for nothing just because they decided to make a quick rash decision because they thought that they were going to make money an easier way. And it's like the gym, right? It's one of those things that you have got to put in the work. If you want to lose weight, if you want to tone up, if you want to have a bomb banging body, you can't drop your body off at the gym and go back and pick it up. You have got to put in the work. You've got to eat right. You've got to do all of the things, right? There's no easy way out. There isn't. And even if there is an easy way out, what tends to happen is you gain all the way back plus more, right? But that's what it's like in business. If you want to truly build an empire where the money continues to come in, even when you're not working, you've got to put in that hard work for a good solid period of time before that can ever even happen. But people don't want to do that. They want to make the money without having to put in the work or the time.
Yeah. And again, it's like the cross recruiting is disrupting people in their process. And so this is where us as individuals, we have to have better emotional intelligence in business. Like when I mean, I'm still this way. You can ask Tara. When Tara will tell me like there's stuff going on with these coaches out there, I'm like, who are you talking about? I don't know. Like I'm so head down, it's not even funny. But that's how I had to be in the beginning because me in the beginning, you guys, I was very easily distracted. I was distracted with people winning in my community. I was distracted with ground floor opportunities. I was distracted with get rich quick things. I was easily distracted. So when I needed to transition my mindset into $0 to $1 million, it was like I had to be so head down and focused. I had like there could have been tornadoes going on around me and I would have had no idea. Like I didn't know about ground floor opportunities. I laughed in your face if you were doing ground floor opportunities. I was like, you go have fun over there. I'm going to stick with my stable company and my stable business where I know I'm going to make money. Like I was like, I am not paying attention. And so this is where we have to increase our emotional intelligence in business, especially when we're new and we get distracted very easily. We cannot get distracted by ground floor opportunities. We cannot get distracted by get rich quick things. We cannot get distracted by things that we think is going to make this easier. We have to do the work. We cannot ignore, we cannot negate doing the effort and putting in the work. Like we have to do the work. We can't ignore that piece of it. So I want you guys to think about this. Like if you're not currently making money yet and you want to get to that point of consistent, 5 figures per month you have to put your head down. You have to put your blinders on. You can't care about this new business or this new opportunity or the letter writing or the quick bonuses or like whatever. I don't know. I don't even know what's out there anymore. I see people posting about stuff and I'm always just like, what are you talking about? It'll be gone tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Literally.
And so if you're serious about making 5 figures per month, you have to, one, be with a business that you can be 100% all in with. That is a stable business. Two, you have to have the right mentorship. Like that is so crucial because usually, again, it comes down to just not having the right mentor and the right system and the right coaching. So you need to make sure that you have those two things in place and then put your head down and go all in for as long as it takes. It doesn't matter if it takes 6 months, a year, 2 years. Like put your head down and stay focused and don't let anyone distract you from your mission. Okay. And like a little shout out to our high ticket besties that watch this video. Like, you guys, all roads lead back to our high ticket business. I've been here for over 3 years full time now. And I promise you, everyone who drifts away because they get distracted come right back at some point. Like all roads lead right back to her.
Always, always. And I will tell you right now, like, I'm the type of person, like I said, I was at the top of 2 companies. I've done and I'm not saying this again to think that I'm anything that's so freaking special, right? But anything that I've ever put my name on, I have gone hard. So I've built a business, I've made money from it. And so what I can honestly tell you is that out of all of the things that I have tried and made money in all of them, and have helped other people make money in all of them, there's no better opportunity. And there's no other business model out there that will pay you for life, where they have 3 different ways that pay you no matter what. It just does not happen. And every other single opportunity out there, if you do not hit the requirements, right, that it takes to maintain that level, you will not get paid at that level. And that's just what it is. So you can go from making, $100,000 a month for years, and then 1 month lose all the qualifications and make $5.
Yeah, no, that's insane.
So it's like, yes, there is residual income to an extent. You still have, like, they'll say, people will be like, well, there's no minimum requirements. Yes, there is minimum requirements, because if you don't have this PV, this GV, this DV, this person at that rank, that person at that rank, if you don't have all of those requirements or those minimums, you do not get paid. So when people say there's no minimums, there are. You have to reach those things every single month. Whereas with us, when we hit that level one time, we're there for life. Again, I've looked at every single compensation plan out there. And yes, I do believe that there are some good low ticket compensation plans for requiring the minimums and requirements and stuff like that. There are some that are better than the other ones, but outside of that, there's absolutely nothing that can hold a candle to what it is that we have. And I say that because I know how hard everybody works. I know how hard it is, and I know how scary it is when you're taking out mortgages or buying boats or doing things like that. You need that income every single month, right? And you have to rely a lot on other people's work ethic in order to be able to maintain that. So it's stressful. So to be able to have something where it's like, once you hit that level, you're being paid at that level for life, that's a huge burden lifted off of your shoulders to know that every single month from here on out, I'm gonna be paid at that level.
Yep. Amen.
So
So this is important to building a brand, you guys. If you want to get to consistent income, you have to choose what makes the most sense for you long term. Like I promise you, if you get into the habit of building into a new business and then building into a new business and then building into a new business, you will burn out in this industry. Like that is not sustainable in any way, shape, or form. Plus, it also, again, like the whole point of this video, makes you lose your credibility in the marketplace, makes other people want to go find another mentor that they know is going to stick around and is going to be there for them in that business long term. Okay. So, I mean, I think that's all we have for you guys today. Please drop us some comments if you found some value to this. Share this out to your teams if you feel like you see some people like getting a little distracted with shiny ball syndrome, because this will take people out of the game.
100%.
It'll take people right out.
And you guys, why work hard at something and then just stop and then go somewhere else and then go, just stick with something until it can snowball and pay you for life, and then go start something else, or use that cash flow that you're earning in that business to go start the nonprofit organization, or the boutique that you've always wanted to. That can be your second stream of income, and now you can hire somebody to oversee your first business. Be smart about it, but don't just hop around from one thing to the next. Don't believe the leader that, is talking about her numbers when she just came and recruited so many people over with her, and all their leaders recruited all their people all over with them. Don't go by that, right? Because when they get up and they leave again, where does that leave you?
It's the little people that get hurt.
Every single time. Every single time. So it's 2025, right? This is your year to do everything that you said that you wanted to do. And that's going to take you not looking right, you not looking left, putting your head down, grinding, and doing all the things that are going to get you to where you want to be. I don't care if you made $20,000 last year, $10,000 last year. You can make $250,000 this year. You could make $500,000 this year. I went from 20,000 to 125,000, from 125,000 to 525,000 and beyond, right? And all it takes is just getting your mindset right, taking action from that place, getting your frequency up, and creating new stories that are going to have you showing up from that new story, and your energy, taking off from there. So we believe in you guys. We love you guys. Have the most amazing week, and we will see you on Thursday.
Yeah, make sure to follow our podcast on Spotify or iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to your podcast, because we will be dropping a new episode on Thursday. And that is also the Wealthy Woman Playbook. And
Yep.